The Download Festival has bitches going over the top. Gentlemen, raise your beverages. It is an NXT party.
Support, no DQ.
Welcome everybody to the NXT party for episode number 48 of NXT UK. I'm your host, the Rated R reviewer, Stephen Osborne, joined as always by the General Jerry Slaughter.
Good morning, wrestling fans.
And tonight our special guest is the Cleaver, Colin Andrew. How are you doing, Colin?
I'm well. How are you, gentlemen?
Doing fabulous. It's much later in the morning for us to be doing this. I've been up for almost 24 hours, but let me tell you something. This episode of NXT UK was pretty good.
I measure it more because of the crowd that we have at this Download Festival that they're at right now was on point. Very seldomly do we get an away show that away from any kind of coin exchange or anything like that, or even like Full Sail or anything like that with regular NXT product, that we see such a vibrant crowd. But these guys are just drunk and hopped up on metal music and just having a good old time.
The crowd was not the only thing different here. We also had different commentators.
Yes.
Well, at least one. We did have Vic Joseph, boo. But then again, Nigel McGillis isn't all that much better. He's just a little... Sorry, whatever. You know what? He fucks everything else up, so why can't I fuck up his last name?
Very true.
Tonight we've got Aiden English behind the desk, and I was ecstatic.
Yes.
This is great. I do not watch 205 Live. Maybe I should, just to see Aiden English do commentary. But I know when I've seen the matches on the pay-per-views for the Cruiserweight title, and Aiden English is behind the booth, it's so much better.
Yes.
So much better.
You get somebody of his caliber and somebody of his gusto with his voice and whatnot too, and his knowledge of the sport, you're going to have a great commentator. And sure enough, we got him, and hopefully Vic Joseph learned something from him. I doubt it.
It didn't sound like it tonight.
It didn't, no.
To be fair, this show was full of great moments, but for every great moment, there was almost an equally shitty moment.
Yeah.
Like our opening match. Kenny Williams and Cassius Ohno. Now, this should be a showcase match for Kenny Williams. Make him look fabulous. He's coming off of the breakup of essentially two tag teams.
Yeah.
I mean, kinda. I mean, you had Amir Jordan go on injury, and then you had him team up with Noam Dar to face for the titles, and
now
that's not going anywhere.
Noam Dar is off to his own thing now.
And this should be Kenny Williams breaking out as a single star. Instead, his opponent, Cassius Ohno, looked fucking great.
Yes.
Like, Kenny Williams, I mean, he got his wrecking ball drop kick through the ropes, skinned the cat, hit the suicide dive, although I feel like Cassius Ohno was supposed to catch that dive.
Yeah.
He just didn't, so they sold it like it hit.
Yeah. Which is fine, too. He made it work. That's something Cassius Ohno does. If something's not working out in the ring, he'll make you question if it's a botch or if it's just supposed to look that painful.
So, what did you think, Colin? Did you think Kenny Williams looked good here, or was this just an opportunity to continue making Cassius Ohno, who doesn't really need it at this point, by the way, look great?
Well, I'm not the biggest fan of Ohno's run here recently, or since he's returned to WWE in general.
Yeah, we know.
That's been proven on episodes prior. Yeah. But tonight, he looked great. Mm-hmm. He did. He looked great. Kenny Williams, he's still not growing on me, and this didn't do him any favors at all. He had several botches. The crowd ate this match alive, though. The what was it? Don't eat Kenny.
Yes.
Don't eat Kenny chant. Like,
I was wondering what that was. That makes me laugh.
Yeah.
That was hilarious.
Like I said, the crowd was great.
Oh.
Now,
I didn't catch it the first time I watched it, but the second time I went back through, I'm like, oh man, oh shit.
I mean, that's hilarious, but to be fair, and even Jerry mentioned this, Cassius Ohno looks like he is getting in better shape. He is tightening up. I didn't notice any cottage cheese.
Nope.
Anymore. That's good. And he looks like he's getting thinner, and not too thin too fast, because you are a wrestler and you still want to keep a wrestler's body, and if you get too thin too fast, you're going to be like, it's not flabby, it's like skinny.
Yeah.
Like flappy, that's what you are. You're flappy.
You're not thin, you're skinny. What?
Yeah, and this coming from experience. 50 pounds in like 2 years. This guy. It's all about when you eat, folks. I've got a few notes for this match. Mostly just the end. Kenny goes for this springboard. I don't know what he was going to come off with.
It looked like he was going to come off with a jawbreaker lariat, kind of like Nigel McGuinness used to do, but it turned into some sort of weird kick, and it just looked horrible.
Oh, you're talking to earlier in the match. Yeah, he does the that Dean Ambrose style rebound off the ropes, only to land a soccer kick. And because he had to use his foot on the top rope to catch himself to spring back forward, it did not look good at all.
No.
It looked really forced.
Camera angle was horrible. His execution of it was horrible. It was just a bad looking move.
But no, I'm talking about the end of the match. He goes for a springboard off the middle rope, and Cassius Ohno catches him and kicks him off of the middle rope. So he goes sitting down with his arms over the top rope, and Cassius he sees the opportunity, rolling elbow to the back of the head, and he just pulls him off the ropes, casually pins him, 1, 2, 3, that quickly.
No shenanigans, no heel tactics, no nothing. This is a straight wrestling match.
So what's the point of the story? Cool, like entertaining match. Like I said, I don't have many notes, but there was no slow portions of this match at all. Like
it was a good exhibition match.
Yeah, especially to open the show. But what the fuck?
So you have Kenny Williams getting another loss, Cassius Ohno celebrating up the ramp, and then the fun truly begins.
Yeah, Imperium, Walter's music hits, and Imperium comes out, and Cassius Ohno wants nothing to do with that shit. He heads stage right.
Yes.
They come in stage left. They're a little off-center, but great entrance with the names coming up and the music hitting and blah, blah, blah. I still think they need to tinker with that silhouette idea.
Yeah. Well, at least for the house show, at least for the shows inside, like arenas where you turn the lights and everything down.
And I know that they have the silhouettes going, but I'm talking about one silhouette behind Walter where everybody's like
gravitates out,
and then they move out, and all you see is their. Anyway,
it'll be cool.
Still pulling for that idea,
right?
Especially if they add a fifth member that you don't really know about, and all of a sudden, like. Another shadow just kind of appears. That would be awesome.
So I know they've renamed this group Imperium, and I get that people are starting to catch on to this, and it's working out. Sure, fine, but I like Team Tracksuit. Team Tracksuit, that works for me.
They look like a bunch of fucking gym teachers.
They've got their names, the
city team
that they were born in, and their country's flag.
They look like they're ready.
Imperium.
They look like they're ready to kick John Candy's team of bobslayers' ass.
Oh my god! They're wearing low top Chucks, low top Chuck Taylors, which just screams to me knockoff. Because I don't know if I've ever seen a low top Chuck Taylor. I think the point is high top.
Imperium ready to take out any mall walker anytime. The wind didn't even stand a chance.
So Marcel Bartel goes to talk, and he gets the usual crowd just booing him off the mic 3 times in a row. Great.
That is wonderful heat. I love that.
And he doesn't have much to say. Neither does Eichner. And the most that they had to say here, it's almost like Zach Gibson syndrome.
Yeah.
You know, you talk a lot, but you don't really say anything. Alexander Wolf kind of explained why he joined the group. Just made sense. These guys were taking wrestling, their sport, seriously, and he wants to be on the team that is going to
do that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Plus, you know, he's old friends with at least two of those guys.
Yes.
So, just saying. And then Walter gets on the mic, and he's starting to basically call out Travis Banks, because what does he give a fuck about Travis Banks?
Nobody does.
The coolest part about Travis Banks is his rip-off nickname.
The Kiwi Buzzkill.
Yeah, the Kiwi Buzzkill. Speaking of Buzzkill, he decides to interrupt and
kill the buzz.
Kill the buzz. And he, if I thought Bartel and Eichner had nothing to say, he had less than nothing to say. I am convinced that he started talking, forgot where he was, and somebody just cut him off and said, "Just stop there.
Just stop talking. Why are we doing this?"
Maybe I should have written down what he said, because it would have filled up 3 lines tops, but just stupid. It does not make me look forward to this match, which, by the way, is taking place next week. Title and all, whatever. It was cool to see Imperium come out.
Yeah.
I guess.
That's pretty much it. They were just there to look cool in tracksuits, which, oddly enough, they still managed to do.
So, once Walter gets through Travis Banks, Colin, where do you see Imperium's future?
Oh, man. Well, here's the thing, though. There's a couple different ways you can go, because Mustache Mountain is still in NXT, NXT UK, and obviously Pete Dunne is still lingering around, I believe. And so they could, bring back that feud, or somehow Gallus can turn face. And, I don't know. I really don't know off the top of my head. But what I would like to see is Gibson and Drake versus Bartel and Eichner at TakeOver. Is it Cardiff? Is that
Cardiff.
Right? Is that what it is?
Cardiff.
I would like to see a tag team title match that way. And then, I don't know, maybe we can get some type of multi-man match for a European title, secondary title.
God, we can only hope that they bring the European title in as the mid-card title. Somebody listen to us.
Yeah.
It's the perfect belt for this. The only thing that I can think is, like I said before, the European title has more lineage to it than the WWE NXT UK Championship. So maybe they don't want to bring in a mid-card title whose lineage might outshine the main event title.
Or maybe they can do something, make another,
call it the NXT UK European Championship.
Yeah.
Yeah, and make a new design, or something. I don't know.
Just call it the NXT television title.
Something.
The UK television. The UK television.
I don't know. I see Imperium, though. I see them being dominant for the near future.
Well, now
I don't see anybody taking the belt off Walter anytime soon.
No,
besides
probably not.
Maybe Dave Mastiff down the line.
I think
he's the only credible contender I can see right now.
Yeah, that's why they had to eliminate him the best they could out of that fatal 4-way.
Mm-hmm.
Now that Imperium is a 4-man faction, this puts them on a different level. They no longer need to go back to fighting British Strong Style. I don't see a feud with Gallus in their future unless Gallus picks up a 4th man. What I see in their future that I am hoping to see before it all comes crumbling down on NXT is Imperium versus Undisputed Era.
That'd be wonderful.
War games.
Oh, that would be
champions
insane.
versus champions or something like that. They could all hold titles.
I don't give a fuck about the titles.
I'm just saying,
I mean, that would be cool if you could, if you could somehow line it up to where both teams have all the gold. That would be ridiculous. But what else would you do with the rest of the card? Honestly.
Yeah.
But war games between those two teams of 4, fuck yes.
Yes.
Fuck yes. I am all for that.
Yes.
Any notes on this before we move on, Jerry?
Well, where I think Imperium's going from here. Naturally, what I want to see happen is, I'll go ahead and foreshadow a little bit anyway. In 2 weeks, we're getting Mustache Mountain versus the Grizzled Young Veterans.
Yes.
That gets announced later in this show.
This is true.
So, I want to see Mustache Mountain win the belts, but then, like, Eichner and Bartel and Wolf to attack afterwards and just turn Mustache Mountain into transitional champions.
For Eichner and Bartel?
Not even Eichner and Bartel. It would be Bartel and probably Wolf, since they actually go a little further back. It'd be, and then Eichner will be like the Bobby Fish of the
I can't
group.
get behind it because Eichner and Bartel are such a great team.
Yeah, well,
their double team moves are the shit.
Then one of them is going to become almost like the trophy case, like Bobby Fish is going to be. You know, he'll have somebody carrying all 3 belts at all time, just kind of like, you know.
Besides, I could see Wolf in the mid-card title picture before I could see either Eichner or Bartel, especially Eichner.
That works just as well too. But yeah, the whole idea of all of them having the belts by November by War Games is completely feasible.
That's compelling as fuck.
Yes, it is.
So after this, speaking of Gallus, we get a recap from 2 weeks ago where the Hunt won their match against who the fuck ever, I can't remember. And Gallus, that's Mark Coffey and Wolfgang, attacked them after the match and beat them up. And then we didn't see the recap of this, but last week they called out Gallus. So this is the match we're getting this week in short time. But first, we've got an interview with Noam Dar somewhere outside this venue. We didn't mention, yes, that they are at the festival. But the venue that they're in is a big fucking tent.
Yep.
Big fucking tent.
A lot of natural light.
A lot of natural light. Looked great.
Mm-hmm.
Jerry mentioned, and I agree, the camera work was awesome. The audio, especially when the guys got on the mic. And you got to imagine, it's a concert event. And I've been to these. I went to Rock on the Range 3 years in a row. Like, those guys know their audio.
Yeah.
And it sounded so much better than it does in Full Sail or at any one of the venues that NXT UK does. So I got to credit them to that.
Production staff, way to go.
But we are outside the tent somewhere. I swear it looks like there's just like porta-houses everywhere.
Porta potties, yes.
Yeah,
and Noam Dar's
little trailer.
Noam Dar's just talking on his phone with his mom. And
gets approached for an interview.
So he's like, gotta go, Mom.
Wearing a poncho.
Yeah.
And I don't remember what he said in his interview. I guess I was spacing, but he ends up approaching Kenny Williams, who has just left the venue.
Well, the gist of it was like he was being asked like, it's like what's with you playing possum and whatnot during a match with Mark Andrew. So.
And he's just
and he talked about, what are you talking about? This could have been a career-ending injury.
Yeah, he deserves a medal.
Yada yada yada.
And then he approaches the recently defeated Kenny Williams and makes light of it. But essentially here suggests that Kenny Williams needs to come under Noam Dar's wing. He even throws out a wing there. And I'm like, what the fuck is he doing? He's pointing at his
I'm on his wing. His wing. You see that's right there. You see that? You're under it.
And it definitely looks like Kenny Williams has no interest in this. But we leave off here with Noam Dar telling him, take some time, think about it.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess he's trying to pull Kenny Williams to the dark side, which he has now only recently gone back to.
But by the time he's back on the dark side,
yeah.
There's no telling.
What do you think, Colin? Do you think Kenny Williams has got a heel turn in his future with Noam Dar?
Well, if he wants to go anywhere in NXT UK right now, I would say do it, kid.
Yeah.
But, fuck yeah.
You know, that's my opinion on that.
Well, you took the words out of my mouth.
He's not over it with the crowd in really any way, shape, or form.
No.
And
he only gets over on the hot tag.
Yeah, him and Noam Dar like makes sense in that respect. The fact that Noam Dar is so entertaining, but Kenny Williams is so crisp and flowing in the ring for a good majority of the time.
Especially coming off of a hot tag.
He is the hot tag champ.
He really is. And I'm telling you, and I know I say it every video where we see him wrestle, that fucking wrecking ball drop kick, skin the cat, off the rope, suicide dive, come the fuck on, man. Tell me a more exciting 3-move combo. And I'll tell you, you're wrong. There's probably more exciting 2-move combos, but 3, come on now. Jeez.
Not very many.
We do see a pretty exciting one during this match. In fact, that's my first note on the match that's coming up that we mentioned, the Hunt and Gallus.
Mark Coffey of Wolfgang versus Wild Boar and Primate.
So the move that I love is that that mat slap clothesline.
Yep.
Just because the Primate, I mean, he's acting more and more every week like just an animal and not a human.
Yeah.
And I guess that's why they dropped the name Jay Melrose.
Yeah.
Because that's a very human name. But yeah, he comes in, speaking of hot tags, he comes on and off the hot tag, and there's like 5 minutes of match before this, but not really anything noteworthy.
Yeah.
It's just Gallus beating down on
Wild
Boar. So he comes in off the hot tag, and he sets this up in the other corner. Hard Irish whip into the corner, and he runs over with it, slaps the mat right before he comes in with the clothesline, and off the stunned opponent, he gets him in a Northern Lights throw.
Yeah.
Great move.
Yeah, great series of moves. Very simplistic, but very brutal looking. It was great.
So he goes to follow up, but Wolfgang dodges him, and he goes flying to the outside, and this is basically the end of the match, because Mark comes around the corner where Wild Boar is trying to come and essentially save Primate, and he gets caught by Mark Coffey and driven right into the ring steps. Mm-hmm. And then Coffey gets back in the ring. Wolfgang throws Primate back in the ring, and they do their finishing move, which is like a pop-up into a power slam, but then I think it's Wolfgang gets a enziguri to the back of the head.
Mark Coffey does.
Okay, so Mark Coffey gets the enziguri. Wolfgang hits the power slam. 1, 2, 3.
I call it the percolator.
The percolator. No, you called it the percolator of...
percolator of pain, the pop.
The pop. What do you think about the match here, Colin?
I thought it was a decent match. It's always good to see the Gallus boys. They always, they never disappoint me, really. I like the fact that Wolfgang and Mark Coffey are really working well as a team. They've come a long way since the start of Gallus.
This is true.
Mm-hmm.
You are right with Primate. He is a damn animal. Yeah. Standing there in the ring corner with the tag rope in his mouth.
Yeah, that was great.
Wild Boar got his ass kicked this match. So
yes, he did.
That's all I'm going to say. Like, that little fella took a beating.
Yeah, it's a good thing he's already missing them teeth, because he'd be missing them after the match.
Yeah. But, no, overall, decent match. Crowd was into it. Both teams worked well with each other. Maybe we'll get another match out of this, because there was the after-match beatdown.
Yep.
Because Joe Coffey came out at the end.
Celebrate.
The beatdown the Hunt had coming. We're going to say that right
absolutely.
now.
Okay, so I wanted to mention this earlier about Gallus when you talked about possible Gallus babyface turn. They're already kind of on the ropes, because they are definitely heels, but there are so many things about them that scream respect.
Honorable.
Yeah, like the fact that they'll come out together to the stage and they'll do that triple handshake, which I think is cool. But inevitably, if there's somebody that's not in the match, they leave.
Yeah.
And they don't come out and interfere later. Like they either they trust each other that much to go out and get the job done, or they're just like, you shouldn't need help.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, it is totally honorable, as Jerry said. And then you've got this, where, yes, there was an aftermatch beatdown, but Wild Boar got in the ring and attacked, or went to attack Joe Coffey.
Yeah.
And, I mean, he should have just stayed out of the ring. Maybe grabbed up Primate and pulled him out of the ring.
Yeah.
But I say at least he had it coming.
Yeah, even then, it's like one of those situations where if he had just went in to go check Primate, they probably would have let him do that. They would have just stood there, posed, let him roll out.
They probably would have still beat him down because they did start beating down on Primate again, which was uncalled for.
Lesson learned. Your buddy shouldn't have ran inside the fucking ring.
3-on-2.
Should have been talking shit.
But the odds get evened when Dave Mastiff comes out. And
the bomber.
For some reason, you've got Wild Boar laid out, you've got Primate laid out, and all three of Gallus standing in the ring, not even winded at this point, and they leave. Dave Mastiff gets in the ring and they leave. And I'm like, what the fuck? These guys are upper mid card, even lower main card. And there's three of them against one. I don't care how big Dave Mastiff is.
Yeah.
This was, okay, like I said, every bit of awesome's got a little bit of what?
Yep.
So that's the only thing I didn't like about that. It makes Gallus look bad, unnecessarily.
Yeah.
Beat up on Dave Mastiff.
So I guess we're going to be getting each of them versus Mastiff somewhere down the line. Probably have Joe Coffey versus Mastiff at
Cardiff. Maybe.
I would think so.
Although,
or at least make that the number one contenders match after Travis Bank inevitably loses.
I would say that, and then see Mastiff go up to face Walter finally at Cardiff. But anyway, after this we've got an interview from Radzi with Mustache Mountain, and this harks back to what we announced earlier. Yeah, in 2 weeks' time we were going to get Mustache Mountain versus the Grizzled Young Veterans. That's James Drake and Zach Gibson for the NXT UK Tag Team Championships. And I look forward to this match. You know what? I wasn't a huge fan of Mustache Mountain, but they're growing on me. I hate to love Tyler Bate, and Trent Seven, as big of a sack of potatoes as he is,
he's shown more fire than he has in the past couple of weeks.
Yeah, he's a very animated sack of potatoes these days.
And charismatic as fuck.
They briefly touch on Pete Dunne. Apparently Pete Dunne isn't anywhere near this festival. Or are they suggesting he's injured? Or are they suggesting he's left NXT UK? I'm not really sure. They just said he's not here anymore. Or he's not here. And I'm like...
And then they go off subject to something else.
Yeah, more importantly, they have a tag team championship match in 2 weeks. And that's main on their mind.
The other thing that stuck with me on this is... They're like Imperium, we're past them. I was like, they're not gonna like hearing this. I don't think they're done with you boys yet.
Yeah. So Colin, does Mustache Mountain finally gain the NXT UK Tag Team Championships in 2 weeks?
Well, let's see. It was January, correct, when James Drake and Zach Gibson, the Grizzled Young Veterans, won those titles.
It was somewhere between the month of Elephant and Rhino. Elephino, bro. I do not remember. I can probably look back on it.
But Takeover Blackpool. I'm pretty sure it was Takeover Blackpool.
It was Blackpool because they crowned the inaugural champion.
So it's been 6 months. Let's repeat history here with Tyler Bate winning in January and losing in May. So. You know,
now, but
yeah, I don't know. I'm just going back to logic on tournaments, this, that, and the other. Unless they're really going to do something with James Drake and Zach Gibson, drop the titles off them.
Yeah. My thoughts on it, and I was talking with Jerry earlier while we were watching the show. James Drake and Zach Gibson have nowhere else to go with these titles. And he's like, well, they're constantly awesome. And I'm like, yeah, in matches. You can never assume to be disappointed by a Grizzled Young Veterans tag team match.
No, you can't.
You got to go into the match expecting quality. However, when was the last time you heard or saw James Drake or Zach Gibson, mostly Zach Gibson, of course, say anything new on the mic?
It's been a hot minute.
Yeah, at least 2 months. Every time they do a promo, interview, promo, in-ring promo, backstage promo, video promo, it's always the same shit. And it's always them saying a lot of stuff about absolutely nothing.
In the same exact suit.
Yep.
Yeah, basically. There's nowhere left for them to go with these belts. There's plenty of places for them to go as a tag team or even splitting up or anything like that, which if they lose the titles, I could definitely see them splitting up and Zach Gibson getting a singles title run. But nowhere left for them to go. Mustache Mountain makes a great team to drop them to because they can drop them right back to a heel tag team and be Johnny Gargano style of.
I'm about to say they had the NXT tag titles for 2 days before losing back to the Undisputed Era. 2 days.
Yeah, they are amazing transitional champions. Just saying.
They're very good at losing the belt in 48 hours.
So we are now on to the main event. Tonight's main event is a scheduled 10-woman.
12.
Scheduled 10-woman. It was scheduled
6+6. Ty Dillinger.
So last week we get the graphic and it's got 10 women on it, and I can tell you all 10 of them, but we'll get there because they're all in this match. They are.
Yeah.
But somehow, now that we are on to the main event, even earlier in the night, they had the same graphic with those 10 women.
Yeah.
We are now on to the match, and somehow there's 12 women in the ring.
Maybe they should fit on the graphic.
I think it was when Kaylee Ray was coming down, and I'm like, who the fuck is that behind her?
Hey,
Who the fuck is that over there?
Yeah.
There's 2 chicks in here, one of which didn't even get a name.
No.
In my notes, she is heretofore named as Nameless Second Elimination, because she is eliminated second right after the other girl who we didn't know who she was until screaming, I think it was Vic Joseph said Rio Kanji.
Yeah.
Because she was getting worked over right when he was about to drop her name.
Yeah.
And I don't know where they came from. I just assume, like, leave it as a 10-woman match.
Jazzy Gabbard, deleted, eliminated.
If you don't have anybody substantial to add to the match, don't just add 2 jobbers.
Yeah.
You advertised this not only last week, but during this show in the lead up to the match as 10 women.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. Colin, what do you think about the main event here?
Well, it was nice to see all the women utilized. Jazzy Gabbard did a lot of eliminations there. She had like 3 right off the rip. 2
Yeah.
right off the rip.
2 or 3, yeah.
Because she eliminated
both the jobbers.
number 1 and number 2. Yeah, jobber 1, jobber 2, purple dreads and white shorts.
There you go. That's all I need.
You know, so, but I thought it was good. I like the fact that Piper Niven picked Jazzy Gabbard's big ass up and literally set her over the top rope. And
Xia Brookside.
And then Xia Brookside
came back and kicked her in the shin right off. That was kind of cool. Hopefully we get something with Piper and Jazzy out of this. Always good to see the good old Rhea Ripley. Always
wonderful.
Always. And her entrance.
Prime cuts right there.
Fucking awesome.
Yes.
You know. So, no, I thought it was a good match. I liked the little spot they did with Kaylee Ray, where she went diving through the middle rope, between the middle and the top rope.
Mm-hmm.
So she wasn't eliminated, but she hurt her knee.
Now, this was fairly early on in the match, and this was
Yes.
the point that I thought that my prediction from last week, I think, was about to come true. My prediction was that she was going to get thrown to or crawl to the outside, one or the other, and hide there for the rest of the match, while Jazzy Gabbard helped Jenny win the match. Like, toss out everybody else and then go over the top rope herself and eliminate herself. And then you would see Kaylee Ray come in and steal the victory. Albeit that doesn't make too much sense because Jenny is a heel. You don't steal the victory from a heel. So that is not actually what happened. But I did call Kaylee Ray being on the outside for most of the match. So I'm proud of that. A little bit. What do you think about the ending, though?
Well, I'm not going to say it like a dick, but I am. There's no way in hell I saw Xia Brookside winning a title opportunity. So I knew something else was coming. Like, I saw her as the last person in the ring. I'm like, nah. nah, something's gonna happen. Then yeah, 2 seconds later, Kaylee Ray pops back in the ring, tosses her ass over the ropes, and boom.
Oh, I was constantly keeping track of the fact that Kaylee Ray was on the outside. There was one point toward the end where there was 5 people left in the ring, and the announcers were like, "There's 5 women left," and I'm like, "Nope, 6."
Mm-hmm.
Never forget the one on the outside.
There, but I didn't know if there was like medical staff over looking at her or anything.
Well,
like
no, that's the reason that
really
she doesn't get back in the ring immediately.
Yeah.
You know, that's kayfabe. Yeah. Saw that coming. So Rhea Ripley and Piper Niven almost eliminate each other. That was Jerry's prediction, and they end up on the apron together. And Xia Brookside comes up and kicks Rhea Ripley off of the apron. She grabs Piper Niven by the hair and yanks her ass off the apron. And this is where we think, or everybody else does, that Xia Brookside won, only for Kaylee Ray to get in the ring. And this was the moment I loved, because Xia Brookside could tell by the crowd's reaction that there was somebody behind her.
Yeah.
And I think she probably knew who it was, because she was the one that threw Kaylee Ray through the middle rope to the outside.
Yeah.
So she had to have been like, oh yeah.
Yeah, that's where the light bulb kicked on. You saw it, and she might as well have said, oh fuck, but she couldn't because her dad probably watches the show.
And then that moment was immediately followed by Kaylee Ray hitting her with a clothesline. A fucking clothesline. Nothing cool, nothing spectacular. Knocks her down with a clothesline, picks her up, throws her over the top rope.
Yep.
No suspense, no nothing. Just, I'm like...
no
Enziguri.
No nothing.
Something.
Yeah.
Something.
Nail her with a finisher.
I bet I know what it is. She's fucking Ilya Dragunov. He's teaching their art of the lariat. So... That brings us to the end of the main event.
No. There was one scary spot in that match.
Well, a little bit, but yeah.
Yeah, Jazzy got... That was the other aforementioned elimination, because Jazzy Gabbert nailed the Dominator onto Candy Floss.
Yeah,
and
face first.
Yeah, face first. Almost head and neck first, because she looked like she had her head to neck, like, you know.
It looked like it was executed properly, but for some reason when Candy Floss came down, her facial momentum outweighed her body momentum, and her face planted first.
Yeah.
With the power of her body behind it. And you could tell when she got rolled over before she got picked up, she was grabbing her head.
Yeah.
Like, that fucking had to have hurt.
Yes.
But yeah, other than that, which we're assuming at this point she's okay.
Yeah.
No reason to think otherwise. That brings us to the end of the main event. And here on the NXT party, we like to rate the main event using good old-fashioned NXT. So, as our special guest, Colin, out of 5 spots of NXT, where do you rate this main event?
Well, it wasn't super spectacular. It wasn't mind-numbing. So I'm just going to roll with a 3.75 spots of TV.
Wow, that's pretty high. Well, to me.
But I also added in, I really enjoyed the tag match, and honestly, that Cassius Ohno match was good too. The crowd was awesome. I'm not saying it was the best show, but I was going with 3.5, but I'm giving it a little extra sugar.
Yeah, that quarter spot of tea off of a great show. That's rule. You are absolutely fair to add that. What about you, Jerry?
I'm actually going to say about the same. I'd say about 3 3/4, because, granted, I called it as the match even started was Kaylee Ray's going to win this one, because she's due for a title opportunity. But then we also had the fact that Rhea Ripley and Piper Niven more or less eliminated each other. We saw that coming. Midway through the match, we see, like, you know, Kaylee Ray go out the middle rope. I'm like, okay, well, the ending of this match is already set. Now we just have to see how it completely unfolds. And Xia Brookside, yeah, that's going to be that feel-good moment, but then that crushing look on her face, that put me up that extra quarter too, because otherwise it probably would have just been like a regular 3. But just the emotion on her face. I'm like, I don't like Xia Brookside, but she's got that puppy thing to her Where it's like, you want to pick her up, she's a cute little puppy, you're like, oh, look at you, that's such a great job. And she pisses in your face,
that's what I
and
want to do with her when I pick her
up.
That's exactly what I want to do with her when I pick her up.
But, dude, my dog got her.
Her and Rhea Ripley at the same time. If I could have to.
Whoa! But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and give 3 3/4 just off of that, and the fact that I'm really digging this crowd. I'm hoping they do this next show. I think there's next week as well. So
yeah, the crowd was great. The opening match was entertaining. The tag team match was entertaining.
The Battle Royal was just a Battle Royal.
Okay, this is the main event. A 10/12 woman Battle Royal for the #1 contendership for the top women's title. Well, the only women's title. But the NXT UK Women's Championship. This was underwhelming to me. There was nothing special in this match. Nothing special to me. The only thing that was storytelling in this match was Kaylee Ray getting thrown out, and I fucking called that.
Yeah.
Like, we knew Kaylee Ray was going to go into, or come out of this as the #1 contender based on the way that they have built her up. Much the same as they did Jenny. Conspicuous by her absence, where was Toni Storm? This would have been a perfect spot for her to be ringside.
Yeah.
No Toni Storm. I mean, there was nothing special about this match. As good as the opening match and the tag match were, compare them to the previous 2 weeks of NXT. It's like, oh, those are so great.
Yeah.
Not this week's NXT. This week's NXT finally got back to norm. But compare those to previous episodes of NXT UK.
Yeah.
Not so much. Can't give it an extra quarter. I would say this was better than middle of the road. I'm going 2 3/4 spots of tea.
Okay.
Yeah, I was just underwhelmed. I mean, they could have done so much more with a battle royal of this magnitude, and they just didn't. So that's my fair shake on the match.
Well, you're at the Download Festival. There's probably way more going on in mosh pits.
The crowd was easily 4 3/4 stars.
Yes.
Oh God, yes.
The main event,
not so much.
Not so much. So that brings us to the end of this episode of the NXT Party. And thank you for joining us. Thank you, Colin, for being our special guest. Always a pleasure. Where can we find you on social media?
You can find me on my Twitter page and on my Instagram page at Colin26Andrew. You can find me on YouTube at Colin, COLIN space Andrew, ANDRUW, where I do the chopping block and Prime Cuts. Prime Cuts is my predictions series, so you can check out my prediction video over there for Stomping Ground if you can spare 2 minutes of your time. So.
Oh wow, that's like 3 times as long as your normal prediction video.
Yeah, I was about to say
I was done with predictions at like 25-30 seconds, but I plugged
everybody.
So,
yeah. The plugs is what got him.
I plugged literally everybody. So, takes a little time, but. Yeah, you can find me there. You can like, subscribe, share, retweet, all that good stuff. So keep supporting these fine gentlemen.
Oh, thank you.
And thanks
this
for
guy right here,
guys.
This guy right here. Okay, the videos that you're gonna be seeing at the front of these shows now. This guy right here.
Yeah, this is our intro editor.
He's constructed them. He's made the music and the pictures all together. Glorious. We love him. Thank you, Colin, for the awesome work.
Yeah, I have just enough knowledge with my system to edit these videos down to what they need to be. What this guy does with a few pictures and some fucking video footage and some music is just amazing.
I woke up one morning, saw the NXT one, and I was like, wow, awesome.
So thank you for that. Thank you again for being on the show. And if you would like to be on a future episode of the NXT Party, join us up here on the big screen. Help us review a future episode of NXT UK. Come have a spot of NXT with us. You can find me on Twitter. Go to nodq.com/Stefan. That's STEFAN. If you just want to look me up on Twitter, it's at Stefan R. Osborne, OSBORNE. As always, the R stands for restricted. You can also find the gentleman on Twitter
at NoDQ General, and also my Facebook group Armbar, all capital ARMBAR.
Exclamation point.
That's
There
our
it is.
exclamation point guy. There it is.
Yep.
Love it.
So
Gets more classy looking every time.
Yeah, so that's how you add us on Facebook. You can add me on Instagram. I'm on there now at osborne.stefan. If you like our videos, click the like button, please. That is underneath me. And if you like all of our videos, do us a favor. Click the subscribe button. That's underneath Jerry. So that's for No DQ. Subscribe to our channel if you'd like, Aftermatch Wrestling. That's where you can get all of these videos early and in HD.
Yes, much better sound quality and much better picture.
Along with occasionally some exclusive content based off of the new schedules that has waned, but we still do them every now and then. We might do one this weekend. We will see. Other than that, any other plugs? I think that's it.
Yeah, Noah Foster.
Noah Foster,
NXT.
210 on YouTube.
Trueify Lives Matter?
Simply_C_OK. That's where you can find Cindy G on YouTube. That's enough. Okay.
That's enough.
For the Cleaver, Colin Andrew. For the General, Jerry Slaughter. I am the Wizard of No DQ, Stefan Osborne. Thank you for having a spot of NXT with us, and we will see you NXT time.
Cheerio.
Stay classy, San Diego.